I've been living in Placitas since 1984. However, I spent the first 18 years of my life plotting my escape from Wichita, Kansas. And I really had my sights on New Mexico. And in the fall of 1973, I arrived here with my first husband. And during that first year, we bought a 1961 Volkswagen bus. And it needed a lot of work. And so we went straight away to fiberglassing it, bondoing it, repainting it, making the inside like a little bedroom and living room area. My daughter was born on New Year's Day of 1973. And the day after Thanksgiving of 1973, the three of us left in our little Volkswagen bus for Mexico. We had no particular place in mind that we were going. We were just going to tour Mexico. My ex-husband and I were silversmiths, and so we had all of our tools with us, silver supplies, and in each tourist spot, each set of pyramids or whatever that we stopped at, we would make jewelry that had a motif or a design unique to that spot. And what that did for us was the people that we kept encountering would see what we had made and want a souvenir of that place and would buy our jewelry. And that's how we could afford to stay down there and tour around. And we went to all kinds of really cool places. On my 20th birthday, we were in Mexico City. I was actually at the top of the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan with my daughter. We camped out on beaches and we toured around to all these really cool cities and towns and villages. And pretty soon it was time to renew our visa. And so we took the Volkswagen bus down to the border of Guatemala. It was very late at night by the time we got down there. And we were really tired. And there was a lady there that said, "We've got cots." It was a little grass shack. And we laid in the cots with the blankets that they gave us to sleep until the center opened that morning to get our visas renewed. We got our visas renewed, but soon we found that we had also gotten something else. We had an outbreak of scabies. They were in the crooks of our elbows, behind our knees, everywhere that you have a joint, and they itched like crazy. A fellow traveler told us the way you get rid of those is you go to the steam baths. You should go into San Cristobal de las Casas because they have great steam baths there. So we drove our Volkswagen into the mountainous jungle country of the state of Chiapas. They let us park our Volkswagen van there, and we began taking steam baths. Miraculously, instantly, after the first steam bath, all signs of scabies were gone. And so that was a good thing. So then we were just enjoying ourselves there and enjoying the baths every day. And I had just fed our little baby girl, and my husband was going off to get in the steam bath when I thought that I'd roll myself a joint. And so I got out my papers and I was pulling a paper out of the package, and all of a sudden I hear bang, 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 just somebody beating against the side of the bus. And I look up, and it's this Mexican dude who looks like a hippie. And he said, "Dormi su papeles." So I handed him my zigzags. He started laughing. I couldn't figure out why. He said, no, su papeles, su pasaporte, su visa. And then I thought, uh-oh. Things may not be quite what they seem. So I gave him my visa. We had just gotten our visas renewed. Everything was in order. And then he said, "Give me the marijuana." We kept our marijuana in a Clorox bottle, a white Clorox bottle with a blue lid. This was on purpose so that who would think that there'd be a bunch of pot in a Clorox bottle? About that time, my husband comes walking out of the steam baths, and he's all refreshed and relaxed, and he sees this guy at our Volkswagen, and he sees all these dogs barking. And I just thought, oh no, the jig's up, they're going to smell it. And I gave him the Clorox bottle. From there, we were taken into custody, and we were all taken to this big place. They had done a raid. There were about 30 different people. Most of them were just getting deported because there was no evidence. But we had evidence. So they arrested my husband. They gave me the option of either being deported or staying there. And I chose to stay there with him and have our daughter with us. We were taken to the Cerro Hueco prison along with the 3 other prisoners that they had evidence from. So when we got to Cerro Hueco, the place we were going to call home for who knew how long, it was going to be months though, we knew, because the judicial system in Mexico is very slow. I looked around and the reality set in. You ain't in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. We had our own special apartment in that prison area. The women, there was the girlfriend of another guy that had gotten busted, and she and I could leave. And as a matter of fact, we had to every couple of days to go get groceries. At that point, the Volkswagen van had been impounded, so we had to take the city bus into town every day. But the city bus didn't start at the prison. It started down the mountain. So we go into town every day, buy our food, bring it back up to the prison, carrying the food, the baby, all the stuff, walking up the mountain. We continued to make jewelry while we were in the prison, and we would go out and talk to the prisoners, and they would make us little things like hand-carved bone teeth or hoops and things carved out of cow's horn and polished. And that kept the prisoners busy, and it kept us supplied with handmade materials that we could make jewelry from. You know, of course, we paid them, and that helped them because if you didn't have somebody bringing you food, your diet was severely limited. So now they could buy some huevos rancheros for breakfast instead of just the basic prison fare. But it was interesting when we left Cerro Hueco, we were taken to the deportation center. And there I was back in Mexico City exactly 1 year later on my 21st birthday in the deportation center. I was there for several days, and from there we were escorted back to Brownsville, Texas. We were back in the USA after being gone about 14 months.